someone from you to discuss your level of understanding for the topic. Very good. Uh, I got the answer from Mushfera. She is saying break-even analysis, or she basically answered for break-even point. That is a point where there is no profit, no loss. Okay. Any other understanding or explanation for this? Anyone? Very good. Riya has also answered the same. A point where there is no a point of production or sale when there is no profit or no loss. Okay, very good. What else? Anything else you can answer? Anything else? So basically, break-even analysis is a management accounting tool to understand and analyze at what point in time in your production and sales that you reach to a point when there is no profit or no loss. Now, why it is important to get to a point when there is no profit, no loss? See, for any business, the main objective of doing the business is to earn profit, right? So every business must be trying to ensure to reach to a point that they are able to recover their cost involved in the production and sales. So once you reach at that point, when you recovered your when you recovered your cost, whatever expenses you have made to the production and sales, once you reach to that point, after that point, there is every possibility that after that point, whatever sales you're going to make, you're going to get profit. So as a businessman, as a producer, you always want to reach to a point when you recover your costs. Whenever we buy some or the other commodity, and we feel that whatever we have invested into that commodity, we are able to get the benefit out of it, equal amount of benefit out of it, whatever amount we have spent after that commodity. We say it's a paisa vasool deal. Now, what do you mean by paisa vasool? That is what you have put into that commodity, you are able to get the similar kind of benefit out of it. I hope you are able to understand. So break even is something, apart from being a concept or a tool of management account, it's a day to day concept. We always wish that whatever money we put into uh, anything, we want to get the return out of it, and we want at least the return that we expect is at least what we have put into it. So for instance, you have paid the fees in the college, so you want that you get the kind of education, the kind of facilities that that justifies the fees that you're paying, isn't it? So it's not just about the management accounting concept that it is very important to know about your business, how your business is going about, but it's about a concept wherein as a commerce student you apply in your day to day life. That is what we call break even analysis. Now the question arises, for a business unit, how do they come across the point of break even point, or how the costs are ascertained? Now obviously, just like other tools of management accounting, break even analysis has its own assumptions, and as per those assumptions the break even analysis is done. So it's not that every concept that you study in the book is exactly applicable in practical life, because all these concepts are based on certain assumptions. Now, for talking about the assumption, the main assumption that the break-even analysis does is that under break-even analysis, you consider that each business unit has only two types of costs that is involved into the production and sale of a commodity. Which are those two costs? Can anyone answer? Which are the two costs that are involved as per break-even analysis? Anyone like to answer here? Very good. Anjum and Muskan, Preeti, absolutely right. So basically, there are two types of costs that are involved. One is fixed cost and the other is variable cost. Now, can you explain me what is a fixed cost? You already studied these concepts under economics as well as cost accounting, right? So what do you understand by fixed costs? Very good. I've got few answers. Uh, Muskan says, which remain fixed if the production is increased or decreased, just like rent. Very good. Which does not change with the change in the output. It is not related with production. Okay, very good. So basically, you already know it, all of you. So fixed costs are the okay. Anjali is saying business expenses that are not related with the production directly. Okay. So when we talk about fixed costs are the costs which are incurred no matter what is your production level. So even if you don't manufacture a single unit, you have to incur certain expenses, and that is why they are called fixed costs. Okay. The second cost that a business incurs as per the break-even analysis is variable costs. So what do you understand by variable cost? Okay, very good. Variable cost means which varies with the production. For instance, labor, raw material. Okay, then it changes as per the production. Okay, and Muskan is saying cost of raw material which varies by the level of production. So you already know the concept. So that is excellent. So basically, what variable cost means is the costs that are directly associated with the level of production. That is, if you don't produce a single unit, your variable cost will be zero. So as per the units increasing with the production level, the variable cost will keep on increasing. It is directly proportional to the output that you are doing. Whatever production you are doing, as per that production, you need to incur the variable cost, right? Now, there is another concept called semi-variable. Semi-variable cost means that up to certain level of production, the cost remains fixed, and after that level, the cost becomes variable. But that concept is not applied here in terms of break-even analysis. So you assume that for any business, there are clear-cut bifurcation of the costs that are involved. That is, one is fixed cost and the other is variable cost. Okay, that is the first assumption that is made. Now, when we are talking about fixed cost and variable cost, and before we start the actual sum and the understanding, as such, we are already discussing the point of fixed and variable. I want you to just remember one concept which is very important when you solve the sum. If you want to write, you can just write it somewhere. Fixed costs are fixed, right? Fixed costs are fixed when it comes to amount, right? Fixed costs are fixed when it comes to amount, but they are variable per unit. But they are variable per unit. Fixed cost is fixed for the amount whatever you are spending as fixed cost, but per unit fixed cost will be variable. How it is variable? Just and try to understand. Suppose you are incurring a fixed expense of rent. Every month you are paying a rent of say 10,000. Right now you are producing 1,000 units, right? So your fixed expense of rent is 10,000. That's fine. Amount will be fixed. Now talk about per unit. Suppose you are manufacturing 1,000 units and your rent is 10,000. So per unit fixed cost right now is 10. Okay. Now suppose you increase the output to 20. Sorry. Suppose you increase the output to 2000 units. So then what will be the fixed cost per unit? 10,000 divided by 2000 units. 10,000 rupees of fixed cost divided by 2000 units that you have that you are in producing now. So in that case your per unit fixed cost will go down to 5 rupees. So at 1000 units your fixed cost per unit was 10 rupees. At 2000 units your fixed cost goes down to 5 rupees. Suppose you increase output to 5000 units. If you increase the output to 5000 units, what will be the fixed cost per unit then? 10,000 amount divided by 5000 units. So you'll get per unit fixed cost, that is rupees 2. So starting from 10 rupees at 1000 units, it reduced to 5 rupees when you produce 2000 units, and it goes down to rupees 2 if you are producing 5000 units. And go similarly it goes on. So basically it is varying per unit. I hope you are able to understand here. Fixed cost amount will remain fixed, but fixed cost per unit will be variable. It will keep on varying with the output level because you divide the amount of fixed cost by the number of units you are manufacturing. So thereby it will keep on changing. Okay. Another thing, variable cost, variable cost is variable per unit, but it is fixed for the amount. Okay. Try to understand here. Sorry, I just spoke it the other way. It is, see, variable cost is variable with the output, but it is fixed per unit. See, fixed cost was amount was fixed, per unit was variable. Variable cost per unit will be fixed, but amount will keep on varying. For instance, if your raw material per unit is 5 rupees, so if you manufacture 1000 units, what will be the cost of raw material? If your raw material per unit is 5 rupees and if you manufacture 1000 units, what will be the total amount of raw material?
5,000. So
5000.
5,000.
Okay. So, and if you manufacture 2000 units, what will be the cost of raw material? If you manufacture
10,000.
2000, 10,000. So basically, you can see here with the amounts that you see in the chat box that variable costs amount keep on varying. That is why we call it a variable expense. Variable cost amount keeps on varying, whereas per unit it remains fixed, that is 5 rupees. I hope you are able to understand these two concepts. These two concepts are very important. If you have not written, please write it down somewhere. It will help you to solve the sum at the time of solving the sums. Right now, you are just understanding the concept. Even if you don't understand any of the points, just don't worry. This is just the beginning of the topic. Gradually, you will you'll be able to understand everything. Shall we start now? Are you clear with what we have discussed so far? Okay, let us now come to the slides that I have shared just now with you. Uh, as I said, break-even analysis, or you can even call it cost volume profit analysis, because with the change in the volume, the cost will change and your profit will change too. So we are going to analyze the relationship between all the three things. That is why we say cost volume profit analysis, or you can even call this as break-even analysis. So what is break-even analysis? Break-even analysis examines the short-run relationship between changes in volume and changes in total sales revenue, expenses, and net profit. See, all the things are connected. Just we discuss right now that there are two costs which are associated with the production: fixed cost and variable cost. And with the changes in the volume, these costs tend to change, and thereby it affects the sales revenue, expenses, and net profit. So we call break-even analysis as CVP, that is cost volume profit analysis. So when you talk about break-even analysis, it's not just that the sums will be asked in the university exam. There are theory questions also asked from break-even analysis. So before we jump into the actual sums, I want you to understand and remember the theory, so that when you prepare for the theory, you are having all the idea about break-even analysis. Because every now and then they do ask one short note in question number 4 from this chapter. Okay, so CVP analysis is an important tool in terms of short-term planning and decision making. It looks at the relationship between costs, revenue, output levels, and profit. So, short-run decisions where CVP is used include choice of sales mix, pricing policy, etc. Now, what are the uses of break-even analysis? Basically, try to understand that. See, in short term, you need to decide that you want to achieve a particular profit in this much period. Then looking at the cost that you are incurring, that is fixed cost and variable cost, you need to decide at what price you should sell to get a particular profit, right? That is one simple decision you can take with the help of break even analysis. There may be other way around. The decision may be other way around, that if I keep the selling price to this price, then what is going to be my output, whether I get a profit or whether I get a loss, right? That that you can decide by just simple formula break even analysis. So that is a simple tool, you can say, in short term planning. Basic decisions to decide your price, to decide your profit, to decide which product to produce, which product not to produce, right? To decide the sales mix, that is, if you are manufacturing more than one commodity, you can decide upon which commodity you should produce and sell more, because you have limited production capacity. So you should produce and sell only those commodities which has demand in the market, and you are able to get more profit out of these commodities. So you need to decide your sales mix, and that you can do with the help of break even analysis. So certain decisions you come across as a manager, as an accountant, or you can say as a finance manager, as a sales manager, that you need to take decisions regarding your sales, or regarding your profit. So how many units must be sold to break even? So if I want to get into a position when there is no profit or no loss, then I can use the break even analysis to decide at what unit I'll be at break even, and I need to sell those number of units no matter what. Okay, then comes how many units must be sold to achieve a target profit. So, what is the number of units that you need to sell to achieve a target profit? You decide the profit, right? You decide a profit. For instance, just like when you study, when you decide a target that I want to achieve this percentage, then you know by yourself that for achieving that target of percentage result, for how many hours daily you need to sit and study. So basically, it helps you to plan out that if this is my target, then in what way I should go ahead and I should manufacture and sell commodities, right? And apart from your routine business, if you get a special order, then whether you should accept that order or not, that is also something that you can decide. Looking to your excessive production capacity, you can just decide whether to accept the order or whether you should reject the order. Okay, looking to the benefits of that order, the profitability of the order, the excess capacity you have, or the current products that you are selling are profitable or not. These all things can be looked at when you do break even analysis, and then you can decide whether to accept a special order or not. How will profits be affected if we produce a new product or service? So apart from existing product, if you get a chance to manufacture and sell a new product, so whether you should start with that product or you should just continue with the existing line of products that you are manufacturing and selling. These are all questions that you come across when you actually do a business, right? So in that case, All these things are going to break even analysis is going to help you to decide. So it's not just about the business. Even in the routine life, we do these things, right? Whenever we try to buy any commodity or a service, we always do break even analysis, right? Do we get the kind of facilities, or do we get the benefits out of it for whatever amount we are spending after anything? So that is, we can say it's a break even analysis. So the terminologies that we use while we solve the example. So first is break even point, and you already know it. The point at which a company makes neither a profit or a loss. So that is called a break even point. Then we come across contribution per unit. So, so we basically try to understand contribution. Contribution is the uh, amount which you get to cover your fixed cost. So how do you get that amount? Contribution per unit is sales price minus the variable cost per unit. Contribution per unit is the sales price minus the variable cost per unit. It measures the contribution made by each item of output to the fixed costs and the profit of the organization. So what you need to understand here is, see, whenever you are selling a commodity, first thing you think about to recover is your variable cost, because that is what is involved into that product, isn't it? That is something that you want to recover first. Then whatever is left out, that is called contribution. From that contribution, you try to recover your fixed cost, and if possible, you try to get a profit. I hope you are able to understand here. So basically, contribution is nothing but it's the difference between selling price and the variable cost. So whatever is left out, from that there is a possibility that you can make a profit. So once you deduct variable cost from the selling price, you come across an amount that will help you to recover fixed cost. And if fixed costs are recovered, there is possibility that you make a profit later. So this is how it goes. Okay. When we talk about margin of safety, see, these all topics will be covering practically as well. So there is nothing to worry right now. Just try to remember and understand the actual concepts. Otherwise, when we will do these sums, we will again come across these concepts, understanding these concepts practically doing the sum. But currently, you can just try to understand with the help of just a theory. So margin of safety, a measure in which the budgeted volume of sale is compared with the volume of sales required to break even. So basically, margin of safety is nothing but a safety level that will ensure that you don't get into a situation where you are incurring a loss. So, for example, if you are making a sales of say 7,000 units, right, and your break even is 5,000 units. So for you, you have a safety band of staying between. If you stay between 5,000 to 7,000 units, you're not at a loss. So that band of 5,000 to 7,000 is called margin of safety. I hope you are able to understand. I repeat this example again. You are making current sales of 7,000 units, and you have calculated your break even point at 5,000. Means if your production goes even by one unit below 5,000, you are at a loss. So as a businessman, you always want to stay at either 5,000 or more than 5,000 units. So if you're making a sales of 7,000 units, so you have a chance to stay anywhere between 5,000 to 7,000 units sales, so that you are not at a loss. So in this particular example, your margin of safety is nothing but the gap between the present sales and the break even point. So you, if you stay in these number of units, that is between 5,000 to 7,000, you are either at break even point, that is 5,000, and beyond break even point, that is you are at a profit. You will not go into losses, right, unless and until you fall below 5,000. So for you, margin of safety is 2,000 units. I hope you understood this example. Now we talk about marginal cost. Marginal cost is nothing but a cost of producing one extra unit of output. I think you already studied this concept of marginal cost in economics. right? So marginal cost is the cost of producing one extra unit of output. This is the basic formula. From here, the story begins. That is, first formula break-even analysis of calculating while you do the sums. A very simple formula. Break-even point is equal to fixed cost upon contribution per unit, wherein contribution per unit is equal to selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. Okay, easily, uh, you can remember this formula quite easily because it's very simple. In simple terms, if you want to write, it is F upon C, where C is equal to S minus V. If you are if you want to write, you can just write it down, because after understanding the concept, we are about to start with the sum, so you will require the formulas to solve the sum. So better write it down. If you are uh, doing it sums along with me, you will need these formulas. So please write it down, whatever you can see in the slide. Fixed cost upon contribution, contribution per unit, and for finding contribution per unit, the formula is contribution per unit is equal to selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. Clear? Shall we go ahead now? Any doubts still here, whatever we have discussed just now? Do you have any doubts, or if you think any point I should explain again, you can just let me know right now. I'll try to explain it again. Yes, anyone having any question regarding what we discussed just now? Or shall we go ahead now? Have you written the formula? Okay, let us go ahead. Now, to understand break even, there is another way apart from the actual sums or practicals. There is another way of using break even analysis. Then that is called break even charts. So what you do basically is putting putting quantity sold on the x-axis and putting the revenue on the y-axis. You tend to draw a curve which shows total revenue. I just try to explain with the help of the pointer. Okay, so I'm using one pointer here. I hope it is visible. So what you do is you start with this zero. So as you keep on increasing the output, if you go this in this direction, your total revenue will keep on increasing. So for 0 unit of output, your total revenue will be zero, obvious. So multiply by per unit price into units sold, you keep on getting your revenue and it will go in this direction. Similarly, when you are at zero production, your cost will not be zero. Your cost will not be zero. It will be more than zero, because just now we discussed the because of the fixed costs. Because total cost will involve both the costs, right? So if you are at a zero output level or zero production level, still you are incurring certain expense because of fixed cost. That is why you can see here with this bracket shown, this is the amount of fixed cost which is involved into your production. But after that, your variable cost will take this total cost in a straight direction with the increase in the units that you are selling. So your total cost curve will go like this. So at a point where your total revenue and total cost collide or they intercept each other, that is called the break even point. At this point, your total revenue is equal to total cost. I hope you are able to understand this chart. It's very easy and interesting concept of economics that you must have already studied previously. So This is also sometimes asked in exam. What are the advantages and disadvantages of using break-even charts? So you can just refer to that theory, and if you don't understand, you can let me know. I'll try to explain it in the coming lectures. Okay, so most of the things are very easy to understand because it's very logical, right? So let us go ahead now. So the difference between budgeted or actual sales and the break-even point is margin of safety. Just now we discussed margin of safety with the example of 5,000 and 7,000. So the margin of safety may be expressed in units or revenue terms, and it shows the amount by which sales can drop before a loss will be incurred. I've already explained you this concept, so I think you are very clear with this. So let us start with the sum. I want you to try it out yourself with the formula. Using the following data, calculate the break-even point and margin of safety in units. Your selling price is 50, variable cost is 40. So first of all, you find out C. What is C here? Contribution per unit is? What is contribution per unit here? Then, and what is the fixed cost given?
70,000.
Just put the values in the formula BEP. BEP is equal to F upon C. F is 70,000 and C is 10.
7,000.
Okay, 7,000. And what is the margin of safety then? What is margin of safety? Margin of safety is the difference between your actual sales or budgeted sales and break-even point. Please let me know the difference of 7,000 and 7,500 is your margin of safety. 500. Done? It was easy to understand the concept. So this is what you should have calculated. Please check your answers. For those who have not understood it, can just have a look at the slide here. It is very basic thing. First, you find out contribution per unit, that is selling price minus variable cost per unit, and then putting the values in the formula break-even point, that is break-even point is equal to F upon C. Your F is 70,000, your C is 10, so you get 7,000 units, and margin of safety formula is sales minus BEP. The sales is 7,500 and your BEP you found out just now 7,000, so you get margin of safety of 500 units. Any doubts in this sum? First sum, very basic one. Any doubts here so far? Okay, let us go ahead then. Now we talk about target profits. Suppose you want to achieve a particular amount of profit. Say in our example, let's come back to this example. Suppose you want to make a profit of 30,000. You want to make a profit of 30,000. So logically, the contribution that you are getting 10 rupees to be at break even point, what you do is you have to recover only fixed cost when you want to reach to break even, because variable you already recover when you do S minus V. So to recover 70,000 units, sorry, 70,000 rupees of fixed cost, what you do is you are getting a contribution of 10. So what you try to do is for every unit that you are selling, you are getting 10 rupees to recover your fixed cost. So ultimately at 7,000 units, you are able to recover your total fixed costs, isn't it? Okay. So when you recover all the fixed cost, variable cost you already recovered when you did S minus V for every unit, and then for every 10 rupees that you are recovering per unit to recover your fixed cost, at 7,000 units you have recovered both, that is variable and fixed cost. So at 7,000 units you are at a break even point. Now, suppose if I say in this example that apart from 70,000, I want you to earn a profit of 30,000. So what you will do is break even. Instead of writing break even, you will write sales is equal to F plus P upon C. Write down this formula. F sales is equal to F plus P upon C. Can you calculate the amount of sales or units of sales? Okay, let me just repeat the formula again. To find out the sales, to to find out the sales derived to get a particular profit, you need to use a formula called sales is equal to F plus P upon C. F plus P upon C. That is the formula. First, you understand the formula here. Sales is equal to F plus P upon C. F is 70,000 for our example. The profit, as I said, you want to earn 30,000. So 70,000 plus 30,000 upon 10. So what is the amount of sales to get a profit of 30,000? What is the unit of sales that you need to sell to get a profit of 30,000? Can anyone get me the answer? Yes, it is 10,000 units. So it is as simple as that. So with the formula break even, you can go ahead one step and you can find the sales by adding profit to the fixed cost. Suppose suppose in the given question they say find out a sales to get a loss of 10,000. What you will do? The same example, and they say find out the sales to get a loss of 10,000. So when you are given profit of 30,000, what you did was F plus P upon C. When you are given loss, you need to reverse that formula, that is F minus L upon C. Can you get me the answer? When you are incurring a loss, to find sales when a particular loss is given to you. So formula will be sales is equal to F minus L upon C. In our example, F is 7,000 minus, sorry, F is 70,000 minus 10,000 loss. Very good. Many of you have already got the answer. So basically, if you go to 6,000 units, you are going to incur a loss of 10,000. Okay. Isn't it easy to understand logically how the things work? So if you go beyond, see, your 7,000 was the break even point. So if you go beyond 7,000, you are at a profit. If you go below 7,000, you are going to incur a loss. So from 7,000, if you go down to 6,000, you are going to incur a loss of 10,000. Okay. So let us just see. So this is what we were discussing about target profit. So what if a firm doesn't just want a break even? It requires a target profit. So contribution per unit will need to cover profit as well as fixed cost. That is why we wrote in the formula sales is equal to F plus P. Okay. So required profit is treated as an addition to fixed cost. Okay. Get the answer for this example as well. Using the following data, calculate the level of sales required to generate a profit of 10,000. Please get me the answer. A formula that you need to use here is sales is equal to F plus P upon C. Very good. Many of you have already got the answer. You can just check your answer here. In this manner, you should be able to calculate this sum and your answer will be 4,000 units. Is it okay? All of you got the answer? These are the limitations of break-even analysis. Even though it's a very good tool to decide or to make certain decisions in short run, there are certain limitations. One of the limitations that we discussed earlier, that costs are either fixed or variable. That is not so in the real life scenario. Fixed and variable costs are clearly discernible. That is, you can easily differentiate over the whole range of output. That is not possible. And it is assumed that whatever you produce gets sold. So production is equal to uh, sales, and that is not true. One product and constant sales mix is another assumption, and that is also limitation. Selling price also is considered to remain constant. That is again no, not possible at all in real life. Efficiency remains unchanged. Volume is the only factor affecting cost. These are the assumptions as well as limitations of break-even analysis that you can add to your answer if you're writing an answer related to break-even analysis. Then there is another concept called absorption and marginal costing, but that is not a part of your portion, so we stop here, right? And we have covered up all the points related to your topic of break-even analysis, or you can say cost profit volume analysis. I hope you understood today. Okay, whatever we have discussed, you are able to understand. Now, once again, I request you all to just have a look at that video which I uh, told you to watch yesterday. That is on Vanita Vishram Innovation Center. I have uploaded one video wherein I explained all the formulas used in this chapter in just one video with examples. Okay. Do you want me to send the link in WhatsApp group, or you will be able to find out that video?
So send the link in group.
I knew it. Alasya Parmo Dharma. Who will go and find the link? Okay, I'll send it to you. Don't worry. Okay, then. That's it for today. Thank you so much for being so patient and